How did you start the Lupus Foundation of Northern California?
Okay. Well, first of all, I went on a search for information about lupus. I went to the local public library in Los Gatos and read what they had, and unfortunately all it said was lupus is a disease of young women, and nothing more. Basically, it was a very short reference. That was really almost all that was said in the public library, but these were also outdated medical texts. And so I decided that I would call the Arthritis Foundation. They're noted for having a lot of printed materials. So I did that, and so they sent it to me, and what I read was lupus is a fatal disease of young women. The same information was coming from the Arthritis Foundation. And so, and all they sent me was one small brochure, and so to me it was obvious that there was a very small supply of accurate information about lupus for the general public and those that were being tested for lupus. So I decided to go to the Stanford Medical Library, their library section of their own, and wandered through expecting to be thrown out at any time, and I wasn't. So I went and found the rheumatology section of their books, and I decided to buy one that was like 8 inches thick that was called Rheumatology. And they let anybody in, and anybody is capable of buying a book if they want to pay for it. Anyway, so I had my source of new information that I knew would be more accurate. Took the book home, referred to it, read several chapters, and I was very encouraged in reading it to know that there are actual effective treatment for lupus. And so that was very, very encouraging for me, and spawned the idea of, gee, we should start a lupus organization. So guess who was the first volunteer to do that? Me. So in 1978, I decided to start a lupus organization, not knowing anything about how to do it, but certainly in my heart feeling it is the right thing to do. And there's so many that have lupus that need that kind of a program locally. So I created an opportunity to have a meeting. We borrowed the facilities of a nearby hospitals and asked one of the rheumatologists if he would like to be a presenter that evening to talk about lupus and be available to answer questions afterwards. And we did arrange for that. So I put together some publicity that ran in the San Jose Mercury News promoting this meeting. Unfortunately, they ran the article backwards. Can you imagine that? It was in 3 little columns. And so to read it, you'd have to go from the end and read back to the front. But would you believe that with that kind of publicity, that we had 150 people show up at the meeting? It was stunning. Nobody could believe it. And those people stayed throughout the doctor's presentation and questions and answers. And they were still there afterwards, standing up and milling and meeting each other. So I was going around with sign-up sheets for people who might want to hear from us regularly, perhaps attend some of our future meetings, show an interest in a support group, or perhaps apply to be on the first board of directors. And so that's what I was doing after the meeting, and you'd be surprised how many people signed up. This provided a long list of people that I was in frequent contact with and involving them in various ways in the foundation.